Morning, students. I will tell you one small story. Let us start with a story. There was a boy in France years back. He was coming back from his school. On the way, he saw a gathering. Some people are gathered around a person. When he looked, he saw a palmist. A palmist is a person who foretell the future, predict the future on the base of your hand, palm, lines, mounts, etc. This boy approached that palmist and showed his hand, palm, and told, "Please look whether I can become the ruler of this country." Then palmist looked at his hand and told, "No, your lines are not so strong, long. You cannot become the ruler of this country." This boy went to his house, took a knife and made a wound, long wound on his palm with bleeding hand. He came back and asked the palmist again, "Can I now look, can I become the ruler of this country?" Then that palmist told, "My dear son, now nobody can prevent you from becoming the ruler of this country." Students, it is the hour of crisis, lot of difficulties for you, lot of challenges for you. If you have a determination, nothing will be a hindrance to you. You can learn, you can study, you can do everything. The only thing you want a strong determination. Do you know who was that boy? He was Napoleon Bonaparte. Later he became the ruler of Emperor of France. Keep it in mind, if you are determined to do something, you can do it. Nobody in the world can prevent you. Okay, let us start. Myself, Ramchandran, PGD Geography, JNV Malappuram. Okay, children. Let us discuss chapter 2 of our geography textbook, Forest and Wildlife Resources. Okay, first of all, we start with biodiversity. What is biodiversity? Children, you know, we like diversity. Everywhere in India you can see diversity. Even India is called, you might have heard about this famous word, unity in diversity. Unity in diversity. That means India is having a lot of diversity. Different type of languages, culture, art, architecture, even climate. Even in the case of plants and animals, we have diversity. So biodiversity, the variety of flora and fauna in a given geographical area is called biodiversity of that area. You just look around your campus, what are the different type of flora and fauna, different type of plants you can see. So biodiversity refers to the variety of life. It is seen in the number of species in an ecosystem or on the entire earth. The life is be very boring if you see only one type of plant, only one type of color. It is very interesting to look around us because we have variety. Everywhere we have variety. In the case of plants and animals also, we had wide variety of species and different species of plants and animals. Okay. Fortunately, India is rich in biodiversity. India is rich in biodiversity. India has 8% of the total number of species in the world. 8%. You know, the total area of India is only 3.28 million square kilometer. It is less than 3% of the total area of the earth. But in the case of biodiversity, we have 8% of the total biodiversity of the world. And 81,000 species of fauna, 47,000 species of flora, and 15,000 flowering species are endemic to India. You can see, children, students, 81,000 species of fauna are found in India. 47,000 species of flora are in India, and 15 flowering species are endemic to India. That means that can be found only in India. That is only in India. 15,000 such flowering species are there, which can be found only in our country. Right. And what is flora and what is fauna? It is a common term you might have studied in junior classes. Flora is a collective term used to denote plants of a particular region. It is the plant kingdom. All the plants are together called plant kingdom. Actually, we got this name from Latin word flora. It means goddess of the flower. Latin goddess of the flower. That means flora. From that flora we have taken this term. Fauna is used to denote species of animals of a particular region. All animal kingdom. In short, flora means plant kingdom and fauna means animal kingdom. And threats to biodiversity. I have told you in the beginning, we like biodiversity, we like diversity in our life. We want to see different type of plants and animals. But unfortunately, in the last 100 or 200 years, the biodiversity is under great threat. Threat means their existence is questioned. In the next century, in the coming years, it is not sure that we will have this much diversity of plants and animals. Why? You can see 10% of wild flora and 20% of mammals are on the threatened list in India. 10% of wild flora and 20% mammals. 79 species of mammals, 44 of birds, 15 of reptiles and 3 of amphibians are also threatened. And 1,500 plant species are endangered, about which we will discuss what all these categories means. The forest and tree cover is only 78.92 million hectares. 78.92 million hectares in India. The share of forest, that hectares of land constitute only, share is only 24% of the total area. That means, students, in our country, the share of forest is only, the share of forest of the total land area is only, geographical area is only 24%. We know for maintaining the sound ecological balance, at least 1/3 of the land should be kept under forest. At present, it is only 24%. And some of the animals, some are already extinct, some are categorized as critical. And you know, cheetah, Asiatic cheetah of India, already declared extinct in 1952. Pink-headed duck also an extinct species. And the forest spotted owlet and mountain quail, they are all categorized as critical. Out of these critical species, 2 are already extinct. Right. And what is forest? So, forest is, many of you must have gone to forest and no need of explaining what type of relief and happiness we get when we enter in the forest, a dense forest, an evergreen forest. So, forest is a large area of land covered with trees or other woody vegetation. Forests are the dominant terrestrial ecosystem of the earth and are distributed across the globe. There are different type of ecosystem, you know, you might have studied in geography what is an ecosystem. Different type of ecosystems are there. Forest is one such important ecosystem where you can see different type of plants, different type of animals, insects, everything you can see. A wonderful world of life, variety of life. Okay, these are examples of forest. Then there are different types of forest. We are not going to the details. Just to understand, you might have studied in junior class also. There are different type of forest. Tropical evergreen forest, tropical deciduous forest, tropical thorn forest and scrubs, montane forest and mangrove forest. These are all different type of forest. Tropical evergreen forest, tropical deciduous forest, tropical thorn forest and scrubs, montane forest and mangrove forest. and vanishing forest. The forests are disappearing very fast. Not only in our country, all over the world, especially in India. The detailed causes we will discuss. I've already told you the forest cover in India is only 24%, 23.81. We are under up to 24%. It is far below the expected norm. At least one third, 33% of the land should be kept under forest for maintaining ecological balance. 200 years back, there was a lot of forest in India, and all the destruction of forest happened in the last 100 years. Right? Okay. And what is wildlife? What is wildlife? Wildlife means an area where undomesticated animals living in the wild, including those hunted for food, sport or profit. Wildlife can be found in all ecosystem. So, every type of animals which are not domesticated by human beings, they can be termed as wildlife, animals. Okay. Then, importance of forest and wildlife. And there is a question, what is the need of protecting or this much care need to be given to forest and wildlife? So, it is a topic in our lesson, and there are many efforts are taken by government to protect forest and wildlife. And the uses, no need of actually teaching you because it is well known, most of you know what are the importance of forest and why it should be protected. Forest act as watershed. You know that most of the mountains covered with forest, Western Ghats or Himalaya, it is a storehouse of water. Most of our rivers originate from this forest covered landform. So it acts as a watershed. They are habitat for wildlife. Thousands of animals are living in the forest. They give economic benefits. Lot of herbal medicines. Lot of trees and other valuable things we get from forest. They help in climate control. They know the role of the forest in regulating the temperature and increasing the water content to the atmosphere through the process of transpiration. All those things you know. So they help in climate control. Wildlife help in balancing ecosystem. That is the greatest contribution of forest. They maintain the ecological balance. You know, the level of carbon dioxide and oxygen. Crores of people take lot of oxygen. And who is maintaining the balance of carbon dioxide and oxygen in that atmosphere? Only trees, only plants, green plants. They take the carbon dioxide and gives out oxygen. So, even if you take lot of oxygen for breathing, the level is maintained mainly because of the forest. Maintain food chains and food web, you might have studied in biology also. They also act as a means of recreation and forest mountaineering and visitor forest. Nowadays, government is opening the forest as a part of ecotourism. People go there, watch wild elephants, wild animals and all. So it's a form of, it is an opportunity for recreation also. So forest and wildlife are very important for us. And classification of species. So I have told you there are different type of animal species on the earth. We have classified on the basis of its existence, survival and its numbers and all. We have classified these animals into species into different category. Let us see what are they. First one, normal species, endangered species, vulnerable species, rare species, endemic species and extinct species. Children, though the different type of species of animals are classified into these category, 6 categories. What are they? Normal species, endangered species, vulnerable species, rare species, endemic species and extinct species. Okay. Normal species. Species whose population levels are considered to be normal for their survival. They are very common. Lot of animals or plants belong to this category can be found. there is no threat to it. They are commonly found everywhere. So they are called common species. Cattle, soil, pine, rodents, etc. They all belong to this category. You can see cattle, rodents, pine, soil, all these category of plants and animals are called common species. Normal species. And endangered species. Endangered species. Second category of species are called endangered. These are the species which are in danger of extinction. They may extinct. All their category, animals belong to these species or plants belong to these species may become extinct. Because survival of such a species is difficult if negative factors that have led to a decline in their population continue to operate. Due to some negative factors, their numbers are decreasing drastically. They are at the danger of extinction. At a near future, they may become extinct due to some negative factors that we will discuss. What are the negative factors? Hunting, poaching, habitat loss. Many reasons are there. So these plants may become extinct. Example, black buck, Indian wild ass, crocodile, lion-tailed macaque. You can see black buck, lion-tailed macaque, crocodile, Indian wild ass. All these species are in the category of endangered species. Endangered species. Then vulnerable species. These species whose population has declined to levels from where it is likely to move into the endangered category. That means they are vulnerable. At present they are not endangered. But in near future, if negative factors continued, they will become or that animals also reach in the category of endangered. So they are vulnerable species. They are also at the danger. They also become, they reach in the category of endangered if the negative factors continue. Example, Asiatic elephant. You know Asiatic elephant case, even recent times, they are being hunted or killed in different parts of India. And blue sheep, Asiatic elephant, Gangetic dolphin, etc. They are vulnerable species. At present there are numbers, but in near future they may become endangered species. Blue sheep, Asiatic elephant and Gangetic dolphin. These are all species of animals belong to vulnerable category. Then rare species. Some plants or animals are very rare on this earth. Very rare. And if the negative factors continue, they also become reach in the endangered list because their numbers are very less. And due to so many negative factors about which we will discuss in detail, their numbers are very less on the earth. So Himalayan brown bear, wild Asiatic buffalo, desert fox, hornbill, etc. Their numbers are very less. That is the problem. So they are very rare species. So Himalayan black bear, desert fox, hornbill. These are all rare species because their numbers are very less. Then endemic species. In the beginning I have told you some species, 50,000 species are endemic to our country. That means that species, that plants belong to that category located in one particular part of the world, in a state or a region. They cannot be found in any other parts of the earth. That species are called endemic species. One example, Himalayan yew. Himalayan yew is an endemic species to Himalaya. There are 15,000 such species in India. They are endemic. So these species are also, these endemic species also under threat due to negative factors. They also become endangered in the near future if steps are not taken for protecting them. And example, Andaman teal found only in the Andaman Nicobar Islands, Nicobar pigeon, Andaman wild pig, Mithun, a type of cattle in Arunachal Pradesh. You can see Andaman teal, Nicobar pigeon and Andaman wild pig. They are endemic to that area. In other parts of India or other parts of the world, you cannot see them. That is why they are called the endemic species. And extinct species. In the beginning, I've told you some species already extinct. And example, you can see there passenger pigeon example, dinosaurs, you might have heard about it, and Calvary major, dodo bird, dodo, and so many plants and animals have already extinct in this world. And that only we are concerned, we are studying only about the big animals and birds that we know. How many species so small which did not come into our notice might have extinct? Okay, so we are noticing only the things or the big animals or plants that came into our attention. And one such example, in the beginning I have told you, Asiatic cheetah, pink-head duck, right? Okay, so Asiatic cheetah, the fastest runner. In 1952 it was declared it has become extinct. And pink-headed duck. Pink-headed duck. These are some examples for species that have already become extinct. So it is a root, children. Normal species, they may become vulnerable and endangered. Endangered, vulnerable, and endemic and rare species become extinct species. This is very important. Every thing started as normal species. To a great extent, due to our actions, they may become vulnerable or endangered, and even endemic and rare species. Also, if correct steps are not taken, protective measures are not taken, they all become extinct species. They reach in this category, and we cannot see, just like our cheetah or pink-headed duck or Calvary major or passenger pigeon, they may vanish from the earth in a near future. So that is the importance of